We've all experienced nostalgia before. Hearing music from our childhood, returning to the neighborhood we grew up in, watching a movie we used to watch on repeat. Nostalgia is typically defined as a sentimental yearning for a past that often brings with it a desire to return to that past. By hearing that music or watching that movie, we are reminded of a time in our life when our world might have been easier or simpler. Nostalgia is a type of memory, a rose-tinted memory that we cannot rely on to tell the whole truth. Yes, our world may have been simpler, easier, or maybe even all around better, but that does not mean the world was. Nostalgia can create a place in our mind that never existed. All around us, nostalgia is utilized to evoke emotion. Politicians have realized that nostalgia can be used within their rhetoric to sell a vision of a world that never existed. They reminisce about a time period that most of their constituents never lived through, and therefore have the freedom to control what they bring attention to and what they selectively ignore. This is the third face of power. Using nostalgia's tinted lens, they can shape the imagination of their followers. Trump's first campaign is a prime example of this. MAGA promised a return to this imagined past of a 1950s America, a time where a man could provide a house, food, and a vacation every year for his wife and 2.5 beautiful children, all on a factory salary. The nostalgic lens through which MAGA views the 50s conveniently passes over all of the unacceptable aspects of the time, namely, a lack of rights for everyone except straight white men. Not only can nostalgia be found in political rhetoric, it can also be found in the monuments that surround us. And when society's collective nostalgia for a time falls away, usually through better education surrounding that time period, those monuments that serve to remind us of that imagined past are changed or torn down. For years, standing tall in front of City Hall in Victoria was a statue of Sir John A. Macdonald, the first Prime Minister of Canada. By honoring Sir John with a statue, the city of Victoria was literally putting him on a pedestal. In 2018, however, the statue was removed, due to an increased understanding by the general public about who he was as one of the leading actors of cultural genocide in Canada. That nostalgic lens faded, and the statue was taken down. Monuments like that often exist to remind society of the people we venerate, and the removal of the statue of Sir John demonstrates that he no longer represents a time people remember fondly. Monuments don't have to be material to have an impact. Names can symbolize what a society upholds as important just as easily. During Mount Douglas Park's time being named after the first governor of BC, the name told a story about what was most important about that park. It was where James Douglas negotiated a treaty with the Husainich leaders. In 2022, the restoration of the park's name back to Pical's represents a different understanding of the past, a different understanding about what is important about the park. Its history as an important landmark in the Husainich nation, marking the border between them and the Lekwungen people. These instances serve to remind us of the power of nostalgia, but also the understanding that nostalgia conjures up an imagined past. John A. Macdonald was always both the first Prime Minister of Canada and one of the leaders of a country responsible for genocide. Pical's has always been an important landmark for the Husainich people. It's only our collective memory of the past that shaped how we understood these people and these places. Nostalgia has the power to put the past on a pedestal, but the pedestal's foundation is by no means unshakable.